morning we have a treat. And Val, why don't you head up this way? And Val is going to do an extended interview this morning with Scott Barkey and Cathy Boyd. And I don't know what all they're going to talk about, but I'm sure they're going to find something. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to you, Val.
Morning, everyone. Nice to see you all here today. We have a table today, so I can lay out a lot of stuff. I don't need that. Yeah, so it's really great to have Scott and Cathy with us today. Now, a lot of you probably don't know them, never met them. Scott Barkey, Cathy Boyd, they have been connected with Hope Fellowship since 2021. They're going to tell you more about that later. I'm not going to. By the end of this interview, you'll know them pretty well. Before we start, there's a scripture verse that was incredibly important, particularly to Cathy, but as I read it, I was like, I think we should start this whole interview off with it because it kind of sets the stage. So it's kind of long, so bear with me, and here we go. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. O magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he answered me, and delivered me from all my fears. Look to him and be radiant, so your faces shall never be ashamed. This poor soul cried and was heard by the Lord, and was saved from every trouble. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. O taste and see that the Lord is good. Happy are those who take refuge in him. O fear the Lord, you his holy ones, for those who fear him have no want. The young lions suffer want and hunger, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing. Come, O children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. Which of you desires life and covets many days to enjoy good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry. The face of the Lord is against evildoers, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and rescues them from all their troubles. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord rescues them from them all. He keeps all their bones, not one of them will be broken. Evil brings death to the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be condemned. The Lord redeems the life of his servants. None of those who take refuge in him will be condemned. And I think that might be sort of the theme that we see that God has us through everything that we experience. So, you guys, we're going to start with how we normally start our interviews, just to lay a bit of the foundation. Tell us about your beginnings. Where were you born? What your family looked like?
Well, I was born in the Maritimes, and I grew up outside Ottawa in a little rural community. And it was pretty idyllic, actually. When I look back, it was lots of room to roam and play, and my brother was kind of my best friend, and we played G.I. Joe and make forts, and it was good, really good. Then when I was a teenager, we moved to Newmarket, and the good continued. It was a fantastic church we were going to. The youth group was huge and really thriving, and lots of fun, good memories. And yeah, I guess that's the sum of, so I had one brother and mom and dad and
okay. And
dogs.
Your parents are still in Newmarket, right?
They are,
Yeah,
yes.
nice and close, sort of. Scott?
So my background is actually Pennsylvania Dutch, on both my mom and my dad's side. So, but I didn't grow up in Elmira area. So I grew up in Markham, and mom and dad, and I had an older sister and a younger sister. And we grew up, if anybody knows Markham now, Markham is considered a city. And we grew up in there when I could take my snowmobile out our backyard and just go for miles. And my dirt bike, and just had a really good childhood there with farmland all around us, and it's just changed so much. And my grandparents had a little farm that wasn't far from our subdivision, and we would walk over there many nights and have fires and just visit with Grandma and Grandpa. They had a big garden, and so had a what I would consider a normal childhood. As childhoods go, it was very, very good. And then when I got married, we moved to the Newmarket area as well, and then eventually made our way to Elmira.
Okay.
Yeah,
And a lot has changed since then.
a lot.
So your family now, you've got some kids, I know each of you, and how long have you two been married as well? So, go ahead.
I have 3 children, and my 2 oldest, my boys, they are in Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. They're both married. The eldest also has 2 kids, and my daughter, she lives here in Ontario with her dad.
Okay. Scott.
Yes, I also have 3 children, and my oldest, which is my daughter, is a paramedic in Toronto and lives in Toronto, and my son is working for a company in Etobicoke and lives in Toronto, and they're 26 and 24. And then I have my younger son is 19, and he lives with his mom, and he's in construction. So that's our family.
Right. And when did you two get married?
Oh, good question. 2.5 years ago? No, almost 3. Yeah. And we have a funny story about our marriage. We started dating, and I owned a house here in Elmira, so it was like we were talking about getting married, and I was playing baseball with Mike on Thursday nights, and there's 2 games, an early game and a late game, and Cathy said to me, she goes, "Why don't we get married in between ball games at the Ball Diamond?" I thought, that's crazy. Like, why would you even say that? And so then the next day, Mike comes up to me and he goes, "You guys should get married in between ball games at the Ball Diamond." And I said, "Were you talking to Cathy?" He says, "Not at all." So I said, "Okay, that's got to be God speaking." So that's what we did. We were not planning to get married at that moment, but that was we did have a proper ceremony in our backyard later that year for all our friends and family and stuff. So, but that was very unique, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. Some of us were there, right? Good to see him. Okay, so I want to ask you what you do for a living. Now, I know your lives are a little different maybe than some of ours, and so maybe you could tell us a little bit too about what's been keeping you busy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was a school teacher as well as a homeschooler, and so a lot of my life has been in education, but then I made a transition to editing, book editing, a number of years ago. So that's what I have been doing, and I would still be doing now if we weren't busy all over the world. And that's actually for the last couple of years when I can't believe we fit all that in a couple of years, but I've been too busy to edit. And I've been saying, "Hey God, why?" Like I feel like a homebody. I want to just be home and knit and, edit books, and kind of a happy place for me. But I think my understanding of the answer came when we were in Brazil the last time. And in my grade 5 writing class, Scotty was there and they were interviewing him. And one of the young ladies said, "How long have you been a missionary?" And I thought, missionary?
We're not
She
missionaries.
thinks we're missionaries. We're not missionaries. And Scotty just answered very, as if we're missionaries. And
Yeah, it was crazy. We talked about it after. I said, they think we're missionaries. But
then we
the reason we go to
realized-
Brazil is to do mission work and to give back, but it wasn't our thought process.
But now we realize that we are missionaries. In fact, we've always been missionaries. And you're all missionaries. We're ministering to the people that come across our path in our life, and it's pretty exciting. And so we find even when we're traveling on the motorcycle and we meet people in gas stations and have like half-an-hour talks with people at a gas station, which happens all the time, we feel like that's our ministry. And that's, in a nutshell, what our life is now, is going where God sends us and trying to see people. We ask him actually every day, help us to see people, to love them the way they need to be loved, to like give us eyes to see and hearts to feel. And do you want to add more to that?
Yeah, so I'll give you a bit about my background. In my early 20s, my father was running a business, and it was a small business, and he needed help. And so I had a decision to make, and I decided that I would go work alongside my father. And I did that I was just calculating, 35 years I did that. And so we were in the office equipment business. That's my background. So we sold and serviced printers and copiers and did computer IT work and that sort of thing. So I did that for 35 years. And the whole time, I remember crying out to the Lord saying, okay, I want to do something for you. I want to give back. Now, soapbox preaching is not me. It's for missionary work and that sort of stuff. I'm not going somewhere and standing on a street corner and doing that. That's just not. But I'm good with my hands. I can build. And I can teach some things. I'm not a teacher like you, but I could teach some things and help people. So the timing just wasn't. I didn't do a lot of that when I was working or running your own business, because I did run that business for a number of years after my father, after it was transferred over to me. So it just didn't have time. I hardly had time for even holidays. I didn't take very many holidays. I was just always at the business. So then in 2022, God provided, and honestly, God provided an opportunity for us to sell the business, and we took it. We sold our business in 2022, and that was the timing. I could get into more in depth later with you one-on-one, but the timing for us to get married, move here to Elmira, sell the business, and it was unbelievable. It was totally God. And so we sold our business, and we moved here to Elmira, and so I ended up having time on my hands. I'm like, okay, God, if you have anything for us, reveal it to us. And I had a friend that I'd known for a number of years, and he was living and working in Brazil, and he came here to Elmira to be with a friend of his. And I said, well, let's get together for lunch. So we were just talking at lunch one day, and he's asking similar questions about what we do. And Cathy said that she used to be a teacher, and his eyes lit up because he runs an English Christian school in Brazil for the native Brazilians to come there. It's English immersion, and they come there from pre-K right up to grade 12. So he said, would you come down and teach? And we'd never thought about it before, so it was very new for us, but we knew we wanted to give back and we wanted to do things in that vein. So that's what took us to Brazil. And we've been there 2 years now and looking at a third year come this January.
How long did you go each time?
Go ahead.
The first time was about 5 weeks, and last time was 6 weeks. The first 5 weeks, the first year, felt like it was 6 months. The culture shock was... It was real. And I didn't expect it as much as it did. But the next time that we arrived back there, it was like coming home. Like it really felt like home. And in fact, when the 6 weeks were up, I thought, I feel like I'm just in the swing of things now. Like I want to stay. So I think we might stay a bit longer this next time.
Yeah, and this last trip, we had a treat. Val came down to visit with us. And she stayed with us for what was supposed to be 10 days, ended up being a week because of tremendous delays. You can ask her about that.
Snow and plane crashes and all that kind of stuff. I have to say, I'm just going to interject here. Spending the week with Scott and Cathy, didn't know them super duper well, but when we got there, felt like family, and it was so cool to live with people who just, I don't know how to describe it, lived their faith, right? Like, being in a relationship with God was just natural, right? We talked about it just naturally, and it was really, really cool. So you guys have certainly encouraged me anyway.
Well, thank you.
Didn't
You
need to
encouraged
really.
us. Yeah.
All right. Did you have any more you wanted to share about what you've been doing, or?
Well, just prior to that, our very first thing, right after we had our official wedding with family and friends, we left right after that for 2 weeks in Dominican to build a house down there for a family in need as well, because we just weren't sure where God was taking us, so this opportunity came up, so we took that. So other than that, we're doing also a bunch of travel, what I would say for ourselves, but like Cathy said, we look at everything as a ministry opportunity. And what I mean by that is not pounding people over the head with a Bible. We don't do that ever. We do what Jesus did, and we love people. We're really trying to love people. And like Cathy said, we'll be at a gas station and we'll meet somebody and we'll be there a half an hour, 45 minutes just talking. And I don't know what it is, but there seems to be people come up to us. People seem to be drawn to us. And we had a weird experience about 2 years ago. A lady came up and we had similar motorcycles, and she gave us her card. She says, "We're from Tennessee. We're nowhere near Tennessee. We're in Montana, I think we were." And she says, "If you're ever in Tennessee, you've got a place to stay. Here's our card." And I thought, okay. And anyways, we thought about it. We conversed with them, met them on Facebook, and we ended up staying with them for like a week. So it's
Perfect
crazy.
Strangers.
And they love the Lord, and it was just really, really neat. So we just finished a motorcycle trip from Ontario here out to BC, out to Vancouver Island, and all through BC and back again. So that was kind of a childhood dream of mine. My uncle did it when I was a teenager, and I've just always wanted to travel across Canada on a motorcycle. So we were able to accomplish that goal, and we were ministered to. We were with friends, and my sister lives out on the island, so we were able to be with her. And when I look back at it, you don't know where God's using you and why he's using you, but just in loving people. And Cathy had a friend out there that I believe really needed us to be with her at that time. It was really good. So I believe God used us even in amongst a trip that we were kind of just doing for ourselves, just to have some fun.
I think you've probably answered to some degree the next question, but I know we have more to say about it, about what brings you joy and makes you feel fully alive. I'm actually going to ask Scott first. I know that's out of order, but you go first. What would be
It's
your
probably because Cathy has the better answer, and leave the best till last.
It's going to take longer.
Right now, life and people bring me joy, and I couldn't always say that in my life. And together with Cathy is my absolute best friend. I love waking up every day and being by her side, and then going out into the world and just sharing our love with others. And as our cup overflows with love, we feel like we want to give that to others and love on them. So right now, life and people in our interactions with others is bringing me a lot of joy.
If I could just add to that, you mentioned that riding the motorcycle across Canada was a dream of yours. Well, a dream of mine was walking the Camino de Santiago, which we got to do last fall. And did you want to talk about that?
Well, if nobody knows, it's kind of a spiritual journey from France across Spain up over the Pyrenees Mountains in 800 kilometers is what it is. Took us 42 days. and you do a lot of self-reflection, a lot of blister,
You get in really good shape.
yeah, healing, and yeah, so, and you get in really good shape. So yeah, that was a dream of Cathy's. And when she first asked me if I would walk 800 kilometers with her, I was like, no way. And then as her passion kind of became my passion, it was great. And we met so many wonderful people that we're still in contact with, still message, and we believe we just share the love of Jesus just through being.
All right, Cathy, your turn.
Well, it's funny that you're asking us what brings us joy, because while we were with Scotty's sister just a few weeks ago, she asked me the same question, and I didn't really have a very good answer. So she said, well, I would have thought that you would say photography. And I looked at her like, I guess you're right. I am passionate about photography. I really like taking pictures with my phone. Like, I don't
And she's really good at it.
I don't have a camera. Like, I don't have a Canon or a Nikon. I have my phone. But I really love doing it. So much so that Scotty would stop waiting for me while I was taking pictures on the Camino, and he would just keep walking, and I would have to run to catch up with him after I was
Couldn't
stopping.
stop and start that much. It hurt.
But then I realized how much it really did mean to me, because my phone, it fell in some water and died when we were on our trip. And I grieved the lost pictures, because they couldn't get, the screen didn't work. They couldn't get my pictures back. They were gone. And it really was a loss. Like, I didn't realize how much I loved, because it was memories, but also it felt to me like it's partly like my art. So short story is, though, by the time we got home, the phone had dried out, and now I have all the pictures back again. So yay.
Praise God.
So we have a few pictures here today.
We have a few pictures.
These are pictures Cathy has chosen because she likes them. So you can tell us about them. They're kind of here if you want to
Okay.
follow along as well. Oh, we got the first one up
So
there.
that first one's actually in Brazil, but it reminds me of the Dominican too, because the wires are just everywhere. But I like it because it could be ugly, but to me it's not ugly. It's beautiful. I love shapes and textures and colors, and that just even really ugly things I think can be so beautiful.
So I just want to say, the one thing that really drew me to Cathy is she sees beauty in almost everything in life. And it's just a gift. And I mean, she chose me, so you can see she chooses beauty and, some weird things. But no, she does. She sees God's hand. She sees God's handiwork and his beauty in things, and she's just opened my eyes to beautiful things. So yeah.
Thanks, Scotty. Okay. This is in Brazil as well, and I had a bunch of, we'd been to the market, and there were, produce was on the table, and I thought, oh, that looks pretty, and so I moved a few things and then snapped the shot. What's that? They're in front of me too. Yeah, okay, thank you. And so these are just some interesting foods you can get in Brazil. It would take too long to explain them all, but come on down and try them for yourself. This is in Elmira, right? Standing in our driveway. I took that over toward the Ball Diamond, Lions Park, right?
We get some pretty nice sunsets in Elmira.
Yeah. Oh, you know who this is? This lady, whom I'm assuming is native Brazilian. She just really took to Val, and she was loving. She had her hair all up, and she took it down, and she posed for the picture and everything. And
She was selling coconuts,
Yep.
coconut water in coconuts on the street. And yeah, she saw me trying to take her picture, and she said, oh, wait. And she took her ponytail out, she fluffed her hair all up, and she went, okay, now I'm ready. And so Cathy took the picture. It was really special, though. She was really
it's
sweet.
a good memory. This is just on our last trip. I was on the motorcycle when I took this. We had stopped, but it was zoomed in a lot, so it's a really good camera if you want.
That was a long way away.
Yeah,
That's
but
amazing.
I guess I was trying to show a bit of, I like lots of different things. Nature, people,
Wires.
wires. This was going through a tunnel in BC. I thought it was pretty. And that's Nanaimo. We were on the ferry, and I just liked the shapes and angles and things. I thought it was kind of pretty. There's Scotty. I was just trying to show a little bit of the different things I like to take pictures of. So he's actually my favorite thing to take pictures of.
Cathy originally sent me 70 pictures, and we pared them down a little bit. A lot of Scott.
That's also in BC. And my favorite subject again. So a lot of these are just recent ones.
That's an
'cause-
old train tunnel
Yeah.
that they've made into a walking path now, so you can walk through them, and it's pretty cool.
Any guesses what that is?
Or just a moon.
More nature pictures from on the motorcycle. So I could actually think I could give a whole talk on the things I've learned from taking pictures on a motorcycle. It would be a whole talk. But the summary of it is, I guess, the patience. I miss way more photos than I get to keep because they go by so fast and all sorts of other things jump in the way. And I actually grieve all of those lost photos. So it's been a learning process for me. I guess, I feel God teaching me things through that even. Just be patient, girl. It's okay. You don't have to have all the pictures. You don't have to, just trust me with things.
And there's another one around the corner.
Okay. That was the Calgary Stampede. That's back in Brazil again. It rains a lot. And that was in Northern Ontario. A storm was moving in, which we got caught in. And that's Brent and Chris. Just the other day.
We ride a fair bit when we're at home with Brent and Chris, so Cathy snaps pictures of them to give to them.
I like the yellow lamps up top, and that was on the Camino as well. There were lots of grape fields, vines, vineyards.
Oh, grapes.
And that's takaka, which
Gross.
it's so good. It's the best soup you'll ever have in your whole life.
The bottom of it consists of tapioca. Now, if you've ever seen tapioca that's been warmed and in liquid, it's like mucus. It's disgusting.
And the green that you see in there is a vegetable. It's a green that they have to cook it for a very long time.
7 days.
Otherwise, it will kill you. But in the meantime, it does make your tongue numb, like really numb. La, 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 la. Yeah. It's the best soup ever.
I did try it. I didn't like it. After we had the takaka, we went to a Brazilian steakhouse, so Scotty and I could have real food.
And that's a door in Spain. I have maybe 150 pictures of doors, but
Yeah, Cathy does love
I
doors.
love doors. And that's another shot on the Camino. You can see the winding road.
Was that your trail then?
That's
that
a
you
trail,
walked?
yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that was just out in Alberta. I like the mirage on the road and the hydro poles. Sunflowers on the Camino. And that was also on the Camino. This is one of our favorite towns, our villages. It was up on the top of a mountain. It was really pretty. Cows.
That's on the Camino as well. We walked right by them.
And there were all these alpine crocuses and flowers on the trail, and this was like two little ones that hadn't gotten trampled. All the rest were trampled down by people's feet, and so I just cherished those little guys. There we go.
There we go. We'll get to that in a second. All right. Well, thank you for sharing
for letting
those
me show
pictures.
them.
That was a little glimpse into some of the stuff you've done and some of the things, well, brings you joy. We appreciate that. Okay, so now we're going to get into your faith journey a little bit. I know we've talked something about that, but tell us how it began, and then we'll get into where your special verses and why they mean that much to you. Okay, so Scotty, how did your faith journey begin?
Yeah, I grew up in a Christian home, probably pretty typical, I guess, of the era. Said the prayer when I was, I believe, 4 or 5. And then I did what I considered was something wrong as a little kid. And I said the prayer again. And Mom asked me, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm asking Jesus into my heart again." She goes, "Oh, you don't need to do it again." Anyways, so that's just a funny little story. And it just was very, very typical faith journey, except I didn't know what I didn't know. And through my grandparents and down through my parents, I feared God in the wrong way. God was a God with a baseball bat around the corner waiting for me to mess up and was going to get me. And honestly, I didn't think that way when I was going through it as much as a young boy, even into my teens and adulthood. But when you come out of it, you see. And I had the opportunity in 2020. My father was palliative, and I was able to live with him for 9 months as he was passing away. And it was a blessed time. And Dad shared a story with me that really put a lot of things in perspective, but broke my heart at the same time. And he said when he was a young boy, he was coming home from school, and he got home late. And there's a reason he got home late, but his mom said, "Did you go to the picture show today, to the movies?" And he wasn't supposed to go to the movies. And he held his head low and said yes. Him and a friend went to the movies on the way home. Probably saw the Three Stooges or something like that. And she said, "Well, your dog got hit and killed by a car today, and that's what God will do to you when you go to the show." And my dad said, sorry. My dad struggled really hard that God was just love because of things like that he was taught. And that was taught to me in an indirect way. And I really tried to help Dad. I wasn't even in the journey that I'm in now through hope and the new understanding. I wasn't even there then when my dad was passing away. I still had my old mindset, but I was trying to help my dad. And so that's where I come from in my faith journey. And I always remember if something bad happened, I'm like, okay, where did I mess up for this, for God to do this to me? And something good happened. I must have done something good. I must have tithed enough. I must have given enough. I must have done something good for this good thing to happen to me. And honestly, that's what my thought process was. So it was pretty messed up. And when through COVID, I ended up, at the beginning of COVID, went through a divorce, and through there's a number of reasons, but I was done with church. I said, I'm not going back. I'm done. I didn't know why, 100% why, but I knew I was done. Then Cathy and I met, and we started dating, and she'll tell you a little bit about her journey, but she's been down this journey that we're on now for longer than I have. And so she started to teach me some new understandings. And she said one day, she says, would you watch somebody online? You may not agree with everything he says. Because I did have pushback. I still believed that, you know, every word in the Bible was, you know, God breathed, and it was God said it, and it's exactly the way it is. And so I had some pushback. So she asked me if I'd watch, and we watched Mike for the first time here at Hope, and I was like, that was really cool. That was really neat. And so when we moved to Elmira, we started coming here, and through the help of Mike and a lot through my buddy Brent, I've come to understand what I didn't know, and I'm still learning. And it's just an amazing journey to see God as a loving God and not a punitive God. So that's where I am in my faith journey, and it's just so exciting.
Do you want to read your special verse?
Yes. It's very simple, but I know when I'm up here I'll forget. So my verse is 2 Timothy 1:7, and it says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind." And why that's special to me is my mom would always, when we were running a business together, there were some lean times. There was times where sales weren't great, and we were struggling, and you'd have anxiety, and you'd have fear, and you'd have doubts. Not anything unlike what everyone here goes through. We all have that. My mom always said, those aren't of God. The fear is not of God. And so he does not give us that. So it's just a verse that I just remember my mom repeating to me a lot, and she lived by that God is love.
Thank you. I'm looking at the time. It's almost 11. Sorry, not cutting you off, but if you would like to share your special verse and then maybe give us a sense of how your journey has gone. It's right there. If you
Thanks. I might just do the reverse, just because my journey's it's kind of short. I went to a tent meeting in Nova Scotia when I was 6. I was to a lot of tent meetings, but this particular one, I went to my grandma's stairs afterwards by myself, and I prayed the prayer, and I think it was actually July 20th. Now that I'm thinking back. Anyway, this might be like my birthday. So then I walked in that faith, like I love Jesus, so love Jesus my whole life. And then it was about 17-ish years ago that my brother presented some ideas to me that made me fall into a dark place, because I really lost all my hope, all the things. Some things that I thought I believed weren't quite the way that I thought I believed them, and I thought, well, I might as well throw out everything because I can't believe anything now. And once I went through that and out the other side, then I just had a renewed love of, I never lost my love of Jesus, but I was really, really on fire and just so excited that he was with me and in me, and so excited about my Bible, and it was eating it up, and just, it was really neat. So I was very, very excited about my faith after that. And which is interesting, because years before that, I had come across this verse in Malachi, the Italian prophet Malachi. Malachi 4, verse 2, "But for you who revere my name, the Son of Righteousness shall rise with healing in its wings. You shall go out like calves released from the stall." I love that image of calves. They're just so happy to be alive, that they're released from the stall and they're free and they're just jumping. And I don't know if you've ever seen videos like on Instagram of those cows doing that, but I love it. So this was a long time before that. And then I realized I was living that then. I was living that freedom and that joy in Jesus. I really felt like I was one of those calves released from the stall. And I love the Son of Righteousness shall rise with healing in its wings. And one of the verses in the Psalm 34, 5a, was, "Look to him and be radiant." And I thought of all the people in the Bible that they have an encounter with God and they're radiant. They just glow. I want to be that. Like, maybe not actually glowing, but I want people to see Jesus in me. And I want to bring that rise with healing in my wings. I want to bring healing and love to people. And I fail at it all the time, but I want to do it. And I think God, He honors it when we really want to do something for Him, and when we really try to keep our eyes on Him, even if it's a glance, even if it's just a nod, an acknowledgement of what He's doing in your life. Like, I know parking places, praying for parking places has got a bad rap the last decade or so, but why not? Why not pray for a parking place when it's something you need? Like, if God's going to be there for your life for everything, then He's there for your life for everything. And not that He's going to give you the parking place, but anyway, it's just, what I'm trying to say is, I just want to see God everywhere, in the rocks, in the wires, in the people, and acknowledge Him and what He's doing in my life and what He's doing in their lives. And I guess those verses really remind me of that.
Well, I don't think we got to quite everything that I expected we were going to get to this morning, but I hope we're okay. You got to say what you wanted to say, and God led. And I have to say, I think you two are people, I don't know. Like I said before, it's just so natural. Your relationship with Jesus, to me, you are radiant. The leaping like calves, you know, you saw her being like that up here, right? Yeah. Lots of energy, and it's lovely. And it's nice to see you so open to being used. And it's a lesson for all of us, right? To keep our eyes open and see what God has for us and how He wants to lead us. Is there anything else you want to say before we close this off? Do you want to summarize anything? I had one more question there, but I don't have to ask it. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you to you and to Hope Fellowship and to all the lovely people. We were hoping nobody would show up today. It'd be, sorry. But no, we love this church and we love the people. And we thank you for the teachings that have really freed us in Christ.
I just want to recommend a book.
Okay.
Brant Hansen. I don't know if you've read the book Unoffendable, but I really highly recommend it. He's a Christian man, but he's very funny. And so it's easy reading, but it's really helping me to just relax and let things go and let people be who they are and not be offended by things. It's really good.
Okay, well, if you want that, you can write it down or talk to Cathy afterwards. So thank you guys very, very much. Rod, are you coming back? Okay, we've got a final song, and then I guess we're done. Okay, thank you.